Hey guys, it's Jessica Hayes. If you have been following me on Instagram, you may know that I have recently been trying the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Foundation, and I did promise a review on this foundation, so today I'm actually going to be applying it, telling you my kind of first impressions, thoughts, and also doing a time test review. So I'm gonna check back through in intervals of hours through the day and just kind of show you how it's sitting on my skin and lasting as well. So I'm gonna start off with a time test, but if you want the full review, skip to the end and the review will be at the end. So when I first bought this foundation, I actually bought shade 2. Shade 1 looks like it was gonna be way too light for me. Shade 2 was meant to be yellow and pink neutral undertones, and then shade 3 was meant to be, I think, more of a golden undertone. So I did purchase shade 2. It seemed like it was okay at first, but it made me look kind of like ashy and powdery throughout the day. I think it had a little too much pink in it. So I swapped it for the shade 3, which still unfortunately isn't a perfect match for me. It is a little bit of a peachy kind of undertone, which I definitely prefer more of a yellowy undertone for my foundation. So this is the bottle that it comes in, which, I mean, the packaging is okay. I'm glad it's a pump, but it's like plasticky. It's not really, you know, fancy looking or anything. Today I'm actually gonna be applying shade 3, so like 1.5 pumps of that. And hopefully I have a little bit of this trial size of the Magic Foundation in the shade 1. So I have a nice amount of those 2 shades there, which I did wear yesterday and was a pretty good match for me. So unfortunately, I think that I will have to purchase another foundation to make this work for me, which is kind of annoying, but I just see it as it's gonna last me twice as long. Today I'm gonna be applying it with the Smith 115 brush. This brush is very similar to the one that Charlotte Tilbury sells. Pretty much the exact same size brush. So as you can see, it applies pretty nicely. It is definitely more of a medium to full coverage. And I'm just kind of applying it to the middle of the face and feathering outwards. I just had a little bit of moisturizer on before I started. So that's most of the foundation from I'd say I had about 3 pumps on the back of my hand with whatever was left out of that little trial size. So it does kind of go a long way. I've probably used about 2 pumps on my face when I've been using this, which kind of seems like a lot for me, but it doesn't for other people. I was watching Graveyard Girl's review on what she thought about this foundation, and she thought that it spread very well. She's also very fair as well, and the shade 2 was a little bit too pale for her. The shade 1 is very pale, which is awesome for all the really fair chicks out there, or dudes. So as you can see, I had a little bit of kind of acne going on there, and that's really covered that up quite nicely. So I don't think that I would even bother doing any extra concealing over that area. I just had a little bit of NARS Creamy Radiant Concealer underneath my eyes, and I'm just bringing the foundation up to meet it. I'm just gonna take my damp beauty blender and just pat over it a little bit just so it's nice and meshed into the skin. Just zoom it in a little bit here. So that is the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Foundation just after application with nothing else applied over the top. So I'm just gonna go ahead and pop some cheeks and lips on. It's not very hot right now in Michigan. It's about 12 degrees Celsius, which I think is like 50, just a pretty mild day. So I will see you guys in a few hours for an update. So I am back with my 4-hour update. I haven't really been doing any strenuous activity. It's Easter right now, so just sitting around and eating lots of bad things. So yeah, this is the face after 4 hours. It's still looking pretty good. The most impressive thing with this foundation, I think, is the longevity. So I think this time test will really show how good it is at that. All right, guys, so I will see you again in a few hours. Hey guys, I am back again. This is the 8-hour check-in. So far, it's still, you know, it looks pretty good. Usually when I do get these marks from my glasses around my nose, I just kind of like rub them in a little bit. I like that it hasn't like settled into my lines. It's not broken up on the skin or anything. I feel like for 8 hours, it still looks pretty good. Okay, so I'm checking in for my 10-hour mark, and this is the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Foundation after a full day's wear. To be honest, I feel like most foundations don't usually last this long on me without touching it one bit. I usually like to go through and tap underneath the eyes, fix up my nose or whatever. So yes, 10 hours. So to talk a little bit about my experience with this foundation, I have been using it for about 3 weeks now. I actually took it on vacation to Australia with me, and it was really hot and muggy when I was on the Gold Coast. It was probably about 30 degrees, which is about 90 Fahrenheit, and it was super muggy, and this stuff stayed on my skin all damn day. My number one letdown with this foundation was that it didn't really look so amazing when I first put it on my skin. For something that's called Magic Foundation, I just expected to put it on and it should just make my skin look glowy, amazing. It actually doesn't have a really beautiful finish to it like some of the other foundations that I've tried lately, like the Too Faced Born This Way and also the Becca Luminous Foundation. I feel like when I put those foundations on, straight away I'm like, holy shit, my skin looks so good, and I'm just really happy with the way it looks instantly. I guess the name Magic is really about like what that means to you. That sounds so deep. I didn't mean for it to sound so deep, but this is a good coverage foundation with extreme longevity without being too harsh on the skin. I feel like this definitely lasts the longest out of any of the cruelty-free foundations that I've tried recently. And also the thing that I love about it is that it didn't make me break out. For me, my skin is so sensitive. I can't really wear a lot of foundations over a prolonged period of time because for some reason it just gives me crazy breakouts. You probably see in my videos sometimes I've got pretty good skin and then other weeks it'll just be out of control. So that's usually when I'm testing new foundations, and that's one of the most important things to me, is that it doesn't actually break my skin out. So I'm just gonna read off the back. A full coverage demi-matte long-lasting foundation enriched with hyaluronic acid, mushroom extract, and the concentrated power of vitamin C. The thing about this foundation is when you read the ingredients list, it doesn't have a lot of crap in it. So I feel like this is why it hasn't really broken my skin out. So I'm willing to sacrifice that wow factor to have like something that's long-lasting. So for me, this foundation isn't everything that I've ever wanted, but at the same time, I am going to stick with wearing it because it is so great with longevity. I mean, if it can hang around in 30-degree, completely humid days on the Gold Coast, then it is a huge thumbs up from me. To fake that kind of luminosity or that glow that I feel like it's missing, I will definitely experiment with different primers underneath, different powders and highlights on top. Unfortunately, there's not many places that actually stock Charlotte Tilbury. If you're in one of the cosmopolitan areas, I'm sure you'll be able to find a counter, but if you're in a smaller area like I am, you do have to buy it online. So the shade matching is a little bit of a tricky process. I recommend that you buy it from somewhere that does do free returns if you're not 100% on your coloring, because yeah, the shades are a little bit weird. If you are super pale and more of that yellowy undertone though, shade 1 will be absolutely beautiful for you. I feel like it's pretty similar to what a MAC NC10 would look like. I hope you guys found this tutorial helpful. I know I am kind of contradictory with what I'm saying. I do love this foundation. I was just kind of expecting more of the wow luminosity, because that's what I find magic in a foundation. But the fact that it is long wearing and it's actually good for my skin, this makes it perfect for an everyday foundation for me. And then I can wear those beautiful luminous ones when maybe I have a 5-hour event that I have to go to. So yeah, let me know if you have any questions on the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Foundation. I will do my best to answer them. If you're having problems trying to match a shade, what I did was just kind of look at a bunch of YouTube videos and try and see if I could find someone that had a similar skin undertone to me. If you guys have tried this foundation and you love it, or you maybe don't like it, let me know in the comments below. I would love to see what other people really think about this. Thanks so much for tuning in, guys. I will see you guys next week for my next video. See ya.